So I'm going to go through real quick. You all may be aware of some people here. Austin Maxheimer from Community One. He's right here in the corner. Stacy Johnson, she's over here. Vanita Mitchell back here for membership. Crystal Coleman up here for communications. She'll wave. Pat Creech is back here for Lisa Barnett, she's for housing. Kathy Davison is for safety. Eric Belford's in the back for the police. Let's see. Gary Hester is back here. He's our board member at large. He's going to be filling in for Robin Baggett, who cannot be with us tonight. I ask that you do keep him in his thoughts and prayers. He did get relief from the hospital at 6 o'clock last night, but he's not doing very well right now. So I ask everybody to please keep him in your thoughts. He's had a lot of issues this last week. And Donna Bailey with the DMD. She's Chris Fleming with Community One and Potter's Wheel and everything else back there. Rocky Rosa with Parks, he's in the back. And I think I have, and I'm sorry, I don't know, because you're filling in for Mary Allen and you don't look very much like a Mary, so we're going to...
Mine's Ross.
Ross?
Yeah, Ross Chapman.
Ross Chapman will be filling in for Mary Allen today. A little bit of a mix-up, and it got double booked. So, but he'll be speaking for E is for everyone. And that's what we have right now. Did everybody get a copy of the last month's general membership meeting minutes in their packet? If you would like to take a moment to read over it, see if you have any corrections or anything that you thought was missing from last month's meeting, I will give you just a moment. All right, do I have in, go ahead, Stacy.
There's, the date, it wasn't the 20th, it was the 19th.
Okay,
And I have the 20th down.
okay. So we need to correct the date on it?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else see any other corrections on last month's meeting notes? Do I have a motion to approve the meeting notes from last month?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from last month.
Do I have a second? All those that agree with that, please raise your right hand. Okay. All right. The membership, last month's membership meeting notes will be approved and will be logged. Now, I'd like to ask Gary Hester. He's going to come up and give the treasurer's report.
Communications. Okay. On February the 5th, Christian Crossroads Church paid their dues of $50. Also on the 5th, they donated, Community One donated $150 to pay for the Wi-Fi. On March the 3rd or 9th, we bought flowers for a funeral, $72.04. And on March the 31st, we spent $36 on Wi-Fi payment. And then the 19th of March, we had a membership check for $20. So that left us $1,556.69 in the piggy bank. So that's in our checking account. So, what's your name again?
Crystal.
Crystal. This is Crystal here in the front. She is our communications director. She will be taping what's going on this evening and everything, so everybody look the prettiest they can.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, and as Gary said, I'm taping everything, but what I'm taping is everything that occurs up at the podium. So it's not all of you guys back there, unless you want to come up here and just wave to the camera. You definitely can, but just to let you know that everybody's not on camera right now. And then also one of the things that we agreed upon previously is that when Officer Belford gives his update, we'll go ahead and cut the video off. We won't go ahead and update that on the YouTube. Just so that we can keep that privacy about kind of what's going on in the neighborhood. And people really that want to come see that can come and see that at the meetings if they choose to. But what I want to talk to you guys about now is you should have a copy of the upcoming events. If you don't have one, this is Kathy. We got a couple of things that are coming up in the neighborhood we want to let everybody know about. First of all, from April 2nd through the 27th of this month, is the spring yard waste pickup. So they're going to come and in addition to your normal trash, they'll pick up some of that yard waste as well. On April 17th, the time is not on there, but from 7 a.m. to 9 o'clock a.m. over at the Donut Bank on Diamond is the Coffee with the Cop event. And then on April 21st, there's a health walk with the mayor from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., not 11 p.m. at Garvin Park. That'll be a really long walk. And then on April 25th is the spring heavy trash pickup for the Tepe Park neighborhood. So that's the day they're going to come and pick up all of those like leftover appliances. If you have mattresses or things like that, they'll come and pick those up then. Also on April 25th is the Mayor's Traveling City Hall. And it's going to be at from 5:30 p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. at Kays Elementary School. On April 26th is the UNO General Meeting, which is the United Neighborhoods of Evansville. And it is over at the C.K. Newsom Center, and it starts at 6:30. On April 28th, they have tire recycling at the Civic Center parking lot. So you can recycle 4 tires for free. After that, each additional tire is $1. And then on May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, there's electronics recycling at C&I Electronics. And then I want to let you know that we also have a calendar of events on the tbpark.org webpage that we try to keep up to date. So if you guys maybe you lost your piece of paper or something like that, you can go to tbpark.org as well, and that information is available there. And so then I think I want to go ahead and bring up Vanita Becker for the update for the membership.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Mitchell, and I am your Director of Membership. Doesn't look like we have the same crowd as we had at the last meeting, so I'll make the announcement again. May and June will kick off our annual membership drive. Okay, we're asking that everyone update your information if your telephone number has changed. If you didn't have email, that you have email now as a way that we can communicate with you, or if you decided and everything that this year you're going to get active and join a committee. There's also a form for you to fill out on the application. The new membership dues for 2018-2019 year are going up to $10 individually. I believe it's $20 for a household and $50 for a corporation or a nonprofit organization. One of the reasons why the membership fee is being increased is due to the cost of the economy steadily going up and the things that we want to attempt to do. I believe we had a good year last year as far as donations and participations and everything was concerned and everything, so we would like to continue to be able to do what we have done in the past and platform and maybe get involved in some other things. There are a few membership applications back there on the table, and I guess you can tell your neighbors or anyone else that you know you're involved with and everything, you know, since they weren't at this meeting and everything, that we hope to have this completed by the end of June. That is the target date, by the end of June and everything, to have everyone all re-signed up and moving forward. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Rocky Rosa, who is with our Parks Division.
Hi, guys. Really, I don't have much to touch on. If you noticed, the new swing set's going up in the back. We got the Boy Scout trying to do his Devil Eagle Award. His name was Adam. Thank you. Eric Cummings has scheduled or set up for Brian Holtz to come to our next parks meeting to discuss some of the future things we want to do at the park, get in the bathroom, the walking area, and things like that, and of course some of these houses. And as you guys can see, the park's been cleaned up pretty well. Chris and I'm not sure how many people showed up, but we greatly appreciated it, and flowers look great out there. That's about it. Thanks. Oh, I don't know who it is. Oh, it's Pat. Hey, Pat. I forgot you.
I'm Pat Creech, and good to see everybody here tonight. I oversee the Jobs and Economic team here in Tepe Park. We've got a lot of things in motion here. Let me try to just recap some of the highlights for you tonight. So within the quality of life plan, we've got different strategies. The first strategy is our priority is to increase jobs and economic activity. The strategy is to connect residents with job training and career development. So we've been working with groups like, well, specifically Work One, and they actually took an idea that was surfaced from the neighborhood and incorporated it into their job fairs, whereby we have mentors working with the folks coming and seeking job placement to walk them through the job placement process. So that has been going well. In fact, it's been going so well that they have incorporated that into ongoing job fairs that Work One is sponsoring. Let's see, we also, so we're going to be continuing to work with Work One, and also Work One is collaborating with a project that was launched out of the housing group. I'll let Lisa expand on that a little bit when she comes up, but basically it's to try to reach down into the youth of the community and help them get connected with job opportunity, job placement, and to begin thinking about careers. So that's a really cool development. Let's see, what else can I update you on? Oh, okay. Under priority, our strategy 2 is to encourage resident entrepreneurship. We are still in the process of making plans to take a field trip to Seton Harvest, which is an urban farm on the west side of Evansville, to learn more about how they do, basically it's farm to table farming in the community. And also just this week, I've been contacted by a very successful farmer who wants to meet with me to discuss urban farming opportunities in this neighborhood. So this is a professional wanting to do two things, create jobs and also do it here in this community. So that's exciting. Next strategy is to attract businesses and employers to Tepe Park. And one of the subpoints is to create live workspaces on business corridors. We've had some very early and preliminary discussions with Veteran Foundation to explore what that kind of housing, mixed-use housing and business opportunity and development might look like. Very early, but they're interested in further exploring that. The key there is finding the right kind of investor. Another goal is to attract new businesses to East Riverside Drive and Kentucky Avenue. By the way, how many of you have an actual copy of the Tepe Park Quality of Life Plan? Or how many don't? Okay, is there a way to get this, make this available to residents who don't have it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's on the
And also
website.
on the website too.
Okay, so I encourage you to take a look at that. There's some really incredible plans and dreams in there that kind of provide the framework for all these things that we're talking about.
Pat, I brought 10 Clubhouse copies
Okay,
that are in the back that anyone can grab anytime if they want to keep them in here, but I can also get a copy to anyone that would want one. They just gotta let us know.
okay, yeah, so I really encourage residents to pick up a copy so you can be keeping notes and staying abreast of things. So, the quality of life plan includes some, am I over time? Oh. Quality of life plan includes some ideas for some specific areas of our neighborhood for business redevelopment and business attraction. Part of that includes a rebranding strategy for certain parts of the neighborhood to both attract businesses and help the neighborhood grow in a specific marketable, identifiable identity, okay? Part of that, which is on here as well as an action point, is to initiate, the E is for Tepe Park. So it's very timely that Ross Chapman is here to talk about that. So we'll learn more about that from him in a minute, what that may mean for us. Let's see. Strategy 4, create capital streams for center city projects, and the sub-goal is to seek promise zone collaborations and funding. So I'm privileged to sit on the promise zone board, so that's a good connection to help us stay abreast of funding opportunities that will be coming through the federal government channels. And yeah. So let's see, market the neighborhood, we talked a little bit about that. Oh, here's another action point that surfaced recently too, is we need to meet with the city officials, Department of Metropolitan Development, the mayor and others, and help them get a much closer perspective and look at our quality of life plan. That will help open up lots of communication and connection opportunities for us as a neighborhood. Another idea, market the architectural assets to attract visitors, to encourage restoration. If you live in this neighborhood, you know that there are lots of beautiful homes and architecture. Some are in good condition, some need to be restored. But it's some of these old gems that really can be marketable. So a couple ideas that have been floated, we need some people to run with these ideas, is helping to create some PR through things like a photographic montage, if you will, of the people and the porches in this neighborhood. So we need somebody with an artistic eye that can help get TP out in front of people with this kind of artistic perspective. We need to intentionally work with more realtors to help realtors understand both some of the current benefits of this neighborhood, but also, probably even more importantly, the direction that we see this neighborhood going, okay? So that we can grow the neighborhood image that way. So those are the highlights. If you want to know any more details, just look me up. Thank you. And who's next?
Introduce Lisa.
Lisa Barnett, our housing director.
Thank you, Pat.
I'm generally loud in general, so if I get too loud, I may move away from this. Hello, my name is Lisa Barnett. I'm the Director of Housing here at Tepe Park. Collaboration is the one message I would like you all to take away tonight. Our association is moving into a new era of collaboration. It's not just organizations and city offices, it's our residents, it's our neighbors that we're collaborating with. Our neighborhood housing department is a great example of that. We have strong community partners such as Community One, Habitat for Humanity, Hope of Evansville, the Department of Metropolitan Development, and many others who are actually sitting at the table in housing department meetings with residents to work on our revitalization plans. The organizations and leaders, I believe, genuinely try to do what they think will be the most helpful to residents, but you can't really understand an area, its people, and its real needs until you live it. That's why it's crucial for residents to get involved. Join a department. Let your ideas, your needs, and your observations be heard. It's only when we all collaborate together that we all actually benefit. It's the difference between change happening by you instead of to you. The housing department meets the first Thursday of the month between 12 and 2 p.m. here at the Tepe Park Clubhouse. If you'd like to join or just sit in, contact me and let me know. This sheet is at the back table. It has all my contact information on it. It's also on the neighborhood website under housing in the contact list section. Some things that the housing department wanted to pass along to everybody and let them know. I think I'm getting too loud. Financial empowerment classes are going to be coming to the Tepe Park neighborhood. They are bringing them in. It's one of the goals of housing is instead of sending people to the resources, it's bringing the resources to the people. Hope of Evansville, in partnership with Fifth Third Bank, Old National Bank, Evansville Promise Zone Group, UNO, and trained resident mentors are providing free financial classes. They cover topics such as budgeting, understanding and monitoring your credit, building savings, including IDA accounts. Does everybody know what an IDA account is? Okay, this is fabulous, and if you're a homeowner, you're going to want to know these. IDA accounts are where you can put in $1,000 over a year. You save $1,000 in this account over a year. At the end of that year, you get an additional $4,000 added to that account. That's $5,000 that you saved over that year, and it can be used to purchase a home, put down payment on, repairs to your existing home. I know Hope of Evansville has them. Habitat of Humanity is starting theirs. Those are the two that I know for sure that I work with. They're also going to be starting a new program that's called Fair Shot. It's going to start this summer. And our UNO VP rep for South Sector, Kathy Davidson, will have more information about it next month. They're still in the building process of it right now. If you want information on the financial classes, there is a Hope flyer on the back table as well. It lists the times and all the different locations. Some will be held at Hope and some will be held here in the clubhouse. Veteran bill assistance. We have been working with Veteran to help those with disconnect notices. We do not have the ability to make any payments for residents, but we can negotiate extended and special terms for those who need it and also connect you with other resources that could help you with payment options. For those that can't get veteran utilities in their name due to a past bill problem, if this is affecting your ability to find safe, stable, affordable housing, we can help you negotiate with Veteran to try and resolve that so you can get utilities in your name, so you can get into better housing. I guess 2 things left that I have to cover. Flyers and pamphlets are over here on the table off to the side. We've been collecting resources from programs and organizations throughout the city. There's Legal Aid, there's United Way, there's all of our housing partners, Habitat, Community One, Hope are all over there. So feel free to look through them and take whatever you think may be able to help you reach your personal goals or better your own situation. Pat mentioned the workshops from Work One. I'm just a facilitator in that part because it was a contact that I made through a different program that I'm working on. So with collaboration with the Economics and Jobs team, we're bringing in hopefully workshops into the neighborhoods that will help for creation of jobs and how to get jobs, resumes, all that kind of thing. So we'll have more on that the more that we get into it. Are there any questions? Okay. I'd like to introduce Kathy Davidson, our safety director and our UNO South Sector vice president. How did you?
Alrighty. I have finally received a veteran update. The surveys of all of our dark areas have been done, and they are now going through and evaluating what they can do about them. If they need to put new poles or shift poles or new lights, whatever it entails. We will soon be starting evaluations on roads, sidewalks, drains, anything that's a hazard. If you walk down the street, it's a hazard, we're gonna look at it, mark it, so we can get it called in, repaired, hopefully, within a decent time frame. This past Friday, with the Friendly Fridays, it was actually very great because it was very warm out, so there was kids everywhere. But also the group that came out to put in the swing set was here at the same time. So got to talk with all of them. There was about 30 people here. They said that they were planning on coming back. They planned on today, but if not able to, sometime this week to actually put the swings onto the swing sets. They just wanted to make sure that all the concrete had hardened before they even tried to do that. We also had a kids activity, that was 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. It was a good thing that we decided to leave a little early. It was a little sparse because it was cold, it was rainy, and we decided to go ahead and shut up shop and leave. And it came into, there was some police activity that ended up that day about the same time we left, so it ended up being a good thing. Our next safety meeting is supposed to be May 10th at noon. I kind of tailored them where the months that the EPD South Sector meetings are, we'll meet during the day. And then the months that they don't have their meeting, then we'll meet in the evening. That way we can try to get people that work both shifts coming in, so we can get more people in to try to work on all this. Anybody have any questions? Well, now we have Mr. Eric Belford, our CPO.
Okay, just a little bit more of a topic. The education department is finally meeting. It's open to anybody. This is their first meeting. It's April 24th at 6 p.m. It's right here. If you have interest in any kind of community projects, children's projects, and furthering education projects within the neighborhood, you are definitely encouraged to attend that meeting. And there are some other representatives that have been working behind the scenes diligently that will be coming to this meeting too. And we have asked a lot of community partners to come to this meeting also. This is the first time they've met, so to what the meeting process will be from there, I'm not sure. Our community and neighboring, their first meeting is coming soon, but it is to be determined. We don't have a date on it. And now we'd like to ask Donna Bailey to come up and talk about anything that's new and what's going on with the DMD.
Just a little bit. Well, we're working on our grant here, getting ready to start that for 2019. So if you're planning on meeting with the city, I would do that probably before June 1st. And I can give you more details at the next meeting, give you a timeline of events. But we have a lot of fund year processing in place. We haven't received our 2018 money yet from HUD, and now we're working on 2019. So there's just a lot going on. If I don't know if TP has gotten their non-for-profit status, but
The paperwork, Matt Wiley is, Robin's been in the hospital, but he had sent everything off, so I don't know if he's gotten it
if
back
we
yet.
have training, I'd recommend it's free. You can attend, and if you have a non-for-profit status, you can apply for grant funds.
When is the training?
I'm thinking it will probably be sometime at the end of June. I can give you an exact date. We were working on the timeline last week.
Okay.
And that's where you can apply for, you know, any kind of social service program, any type of housing. You know, you can inquire about your needs, and then we can see what kind of program development you might want to set up. So, you know, just put it in writing and send it to me.
Okay.
And it's, well, or you know how to get a hold of me through the Department of Metropolitan Development.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions for Donna? Okay. Thank you, Donna.
Yeah. So first of all, can you guys just give one another a hand, please? It really is remarkable. So it was about a year ago. You guys, Community One and Kathy and the Neighborhood Association invited the entire neighborhood together for 2 listening sessions. The first one was capturing your guys' vision for the neighborhood. And then the second one was actually coming up with strategies that you guys wanted to pursue to make TP Park the place that you guys want it to be. And this is evidence here of resident-based community development, and it really is remarkable. So just kudos to you guys. Keep it going. What you just heard from was leaders from the neighborhood over each priority area in the quality of life plan, like Pat mentioned. And these books are in the back, and they outline a 3 to 5 year strategy that you guys are working to make happen. So just again, thank you, Kathy, thank you for the leadership that everyone's bringing to this, because it's really exciting. And so I don't really have an announcement based from Community One. Yeah.
Do you have an update on the ribbon cutting yet for the house?
On the house, yeah, it'll be in June. We don't have an exact date yet. Yeah, so the Community One house that's being rehabbed, 610 Madison, is about done. And that's exciting, and we're going to get that on the market and get a neighbor in there here shortly, hopefully in June. So as Kathy mentioned, one of the groups in this plan does not have a leader yet, and it's the neighboring and community priority area. And the thing that's really exciting about that, in my mind, is that if everyone just loved their neighbors, this would be heaven on earth, right? It would be a beautiful, wonderful place if everyone just loved the neighbors around them. We wouldn't even necessarily need city governments and wouldn't even need police. We would just be a one beautiful big family in the neighborhood. And so to kind of bring in someone from the outside that's talking about like the idea of neighboring on a large scale is E is for everyone. You might have seen the posters and signs up throughout the city or seen it on the internet or whatnot. Ross is going to talk about that, but if you would like to join or possibly even lead the neighboring and community group, as Kathy said, is to be determined, because I wanted kind of you guys to hear a pitch for what neighboring and community could look like, and then talk to anyone afterward who would be interested in being a part of that group to further that initiative. So see me after the meeting if you're doing that, and we can get a time to get together and talk about that. So. Ross is coming up. I apologize. I handicapped him because I was supposed to put up a screen to show a video and have some visuals for him, and I totally blew it and didn't bring the right technology. So it's my fault, Ross. Sorry.
No problem. No, he's got I got a box. All kinds of good stuff. So this is just a box of shirts and stickers. Everybody can have a shirt if they want it. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but this is what they look like. We got all kinds of sizes. This is a little person right here. But how many of you guys have seen the E is for Everyone up anywhere? Maybe a business to put it up, or you saw a banner on the street, something like that. Awesome. So before I say anything about it, I just wanted to ask you guys to just, what do you think? What are your perceptions? I mean, you've seen it. What were your thoughts about it? What have you heard people talk about when they say E is for everyone? Anybody want to throw some thoughts out?
It's a simple, unifying thing that also gives opportunity for the individual identity of whatever group is, participating in it. I think it's brilliant.
Great thought. Glad you picked that up, Pat. Anybody else want to say anything? Positive, negative, doesn't really matter. We just want to, get it out there, talk about it. What do you guys, what do you know? And we'll have time for questions afterwards too, but I thought I'd start with that.
Well, it's a connection, connects people to whatever's going on. It, sort of like another Facebook, but only more community oriented.
Oh, great. Yeah. Very good. Yes, there's a digital presence. Awesome. Well, let me give you guys a little bit of background. So about a year ago, this campaign launched publicly called E is for Everyone, and but there were 2 years before that that led up to that launch. And why it's important to know that is because it's important to know where things come from. And that could be a mystery if you just see a billboard. So it was some citizens in Evansville, some people who work here, live here, some people that use their skills and expertise in their profession to come together and say, let's create a way for people to start having some pride, places to land their story in the story of Evansville, and to excite people and go, hey, I love living in Evansville because of this, or this is how I connect to the city. And so they had a bunch of focus groups, they did a bunch of listening. Some of you guys might remember the Evansville Voice campaign that Leadership Evansville did. That contributed, that data and all this listening that went into it. And they came up with 3 or 4 different kind of concepts, and this E is for Everyone is the one that kind of won out with the city people that were listening. And so E is for Everyone launched with this idea of just helping us identify what's exciting about our city. Why do we love living here? And so there's 3 C's of E is for Everyone. There'll be a quiz later, so pay attention. Connect, contribute, and celebrate. And so we already kind of mentioned connecting and unity and this idea. But how do you connect in our city, in our community, to the people who live here? What are the ways that you guys enjoy doing that? We want to share that with the rest of our city so that more people can make connections. Maybe it's your neighborhood association meeting. Maybe it's something going on in your neighborhood with kids and events, or maybe it's a nonprofit that you're a part of, or it's your business, or maybe it's a church that you attend. What are the ways that you're connecting in? And there's ways that you can kind of share that. You can use the hashtag E is for Everyone if you're on social media. If you're not, no big deal. But people, if you can click on those tags on Facebook or Instagram, and you can see different pictures that populate of how people are connecting in the city. It's kind of a cool way to do that. The contribute C is about how do we create a city that really is for everyone. Because there'll be some people who say, well, I don't know if E is for everyone. This is going on and that's going on. It doesn't seem right. How can we fix that? And so, collectively, kind of just as you guys have done in your neighborhood, and said, hey, this is our neighborhood. How do we make it the neighborhood we want it to be? Same idea on kind of a citywide level. This is our city. How do we contribute to making it the kind of city we want it to be? How do we really care about the people here and what their challenges are, and how do we make them better? We want Evansville to be for everyone, and it can't be for everyone when people don't have the opportunities that they might want to have. And so how do we work towards that together? So you may contribute by coming to a neighborhood association meeting and saying, here, we're going to move forward. You may contribute by just the job that you do or the people that you connect with, encouraging somebody in just their day-to-day life, not letting them run in their house without saying hi to you. Maybe something like that. And then the last C is celebrate. And so how do we come together as a community to really celebrate the things that make Evansville what it is? And so that was kind of the spirit behind E is for Everyone. And so connect, contribute, and celebrate. So you kind of ask yourself as you're seeing this, what are the ways that I'm connecting, and what are the ways I'm contributing, and what are the ways I'm celebrating with others what's going on in our community. You might have seen several businesses, organizations, neighborhood associations developing their own E. And this is a great way to think about the brand, because what we want is for people to identify with it and leverage it in any way that they want. So you'll see, so Mary, the lady that was going to come to speak tonight, she's a co-brand champion with me, and she has her own soap business. And so she runs that right down here on Washington. It's called 6th Street Soapery, and she made soap bars in the shape of an E. And that was kind of her way of saying, I love being in Evansville. I'm excited that I can create my own business here, and here's the product that I want to share with the world, my city especially. And so she did her own E. You'll see other nonprofits. One cool example that you guys mentioned earlier was Habitat. They had some residents that had just bought a house in their neighborhood, and the Habitat team made that happen. And so they were real excited to get in their home, and they just said, E is for everyone, where people have access to good housing. That's what we think E is for everyone is about. So we're contributing to our city by making that possible. And so for you guys, as you think about, what do we want to communicate about as our neighborhood, I wanted to share just a couple of things that you might be able to leverage. One of the things we're doing right now is kind of the website 2.0 version. So we've had a year of seeing eisforeveryone.com and the way it is, and I can show it to you. There's some really great pictures on there. But Austin failed us tonight, so we don't have that. Anyways, we're working on a second kind of redo of the website, and one major aspect of it that we want to have on there is how do we highlight the neighborhoods of Evansville. And so we're looking for stories, things that you guys love about Tepe Park. What are you passionate about here? Maybe it's, I just love the people that live here, and you want to talk about a cool relationship or connection you have with somebody. Or maybe it's, I love the movement we have, that we're working together to build the kind of neighborhood we want. So we want to hear from you guys. What are the things that you would want the rest of the community to know about Tepe Park? The things that you're excited about and working toward together. Maybe Kathy, if you've got a way to help us get information, that would be excellent. We can talk about that, or we can work with Austin on that too. But we'd love to hear from you guys. And there's opportunities to put up pictures. Pat mentioned all these great the architecture in the area, these cool houses. Maybe that's something that you'd want to see as a visual representation of Tepe Park up on the E is for Everyone website. So that's what we're really working towards that right now. And I'll be around afterwards if you've got ideas about that you want to connect with me about, and I'll write them down. I didn't want to talk too much. I want to be able to let you guys ask questions. You got a critical question you want to ask, or you're not sure about something. This is your chance to kind of get clarity on that and feel like you can leave kind of going, hey, I'm excited about E is for Everyone. I want to be a part of that. And it's really a way for us to celebrate our city together. It's not about a specific brand, it's about Evansville.
Well, Crystal, our communication director, has lots of wonderful ideas.
Oh,
and
good.
her sister's been working
Perfect. That's great.
on some ideas too, so I think they will have a lot to discuss with you about.
Yeah.
I do have a question. So what's the difference? You said it's a 2.0 version of the website.
Yes.
So what things are changing between 1.0 and the updated?
That's a good question. There's a lot of things that I can't remember off the top of my head, because I'm not actually doing all of that work. There's marketing firms and designers that really kind of move that thing forward. But I know one thing will be kind of like there's a did you know kind of section that will pop up on pretty much any page, where it'll be things like, did you know we have the third oldest operating baseball park in the country? Did you know we had the 5th best place to start a business in 2015 by Neighbhorhood? Did you know so these like interesting facts that we don't necessarily learn about our city, but some really, really cool things to celebrate. There'll be a section on there for events, and the events will be a little bit more user-friendly. Like that's a big emphasis, is how do we make that website more user-friendly. There'll be a section on there about neighborhoods, and then there's a huge emphasis on the people who live in this city. So if you go there right now, you can watch 3 to 5 minute interviews with specific people in our city who are doing really cool things, but they're not like rock stars in the sense of celebrities. They're just people like you and I who've gone out and said, hey, this is how I made Evansville my home and why I love being here. So there's some really cool stories on there to check out, and there might be a story right here in TV Park that we got to be able to highlight. So that's a big section of it as well. That is supposed to launch later this summer, so be on the lookout. Good question. A couple quick things as you guys think, if you have more questions. A lot of times people ask, is this taxpayer funded? No, your taxes are not paying for E is for Everyone. This was kind of a collective goodness of businesses and individuals who said, hey, let's come together and make this a reality in our city. And so it's not taxpayer funded. It's not led by the mayor. We get that sometimes. Whether you like him or not, you want your mayor to support something like E is for Everyone. So of course he talks about it. But we want him focused on building a city that represents that idea. But it's not connected to any political person. It's not connected to any specific business or group of businesses. It's really about our city.
I have a question.
2 questions.
Have there been any visible or concrete results from the goals that were set?
Yes. I'm not in the total no on exactly what they were measuring from the very beginning, but a huge kind of concrete outcome was how many people could we get to basically build their own E, because that was adopting the idea, saying we want to be a part of it. And if you go to the E is for Everyone website, you can click on all the make your own E's, and there's 100 on there already of just people who are saying, hey, we're making our business logo represent E somehow. Or if you look at the social media posts on Facebook or Instagram, you can see all the people who are tagging that and saying, this is what I think of when I think of E is for Everyone. And that could be anything, it could be, hey, I went to the park with my kids today and I walked there, and hashtag E is for Everyone. That's the kind of city I want to live in. So you've got a lot of those kinds of examples. In terms of, there's definitely sort of how do we kind of help people get excited about being in Evansville and, building the great city and communicating that we love living here. You're seeing that through those posts and the adoption of those values.
So in other words, you could take the Tepe Park logo and figure out a way to incorporate the E into the Tepe Park
Yes.
logo in a way that would highlight
Yes.
the Tepe Park, and maybe starting out with the park and some of its benefits of its playground, or maybe the
Exactly.
basketball court, and then the gardens or something, and
Yes, exactly that.
and go from there
Mhm.
in why you would want to be in Tepe Park and see it develop and grow, and maybe somebody that is successfully or has renovated or remodeled their home
Yeah.
or a business in the area that would want to also use it, but I'm in Tepe Park. I got a business in Tepe Park.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys kind of get to create that on your own and kind of use your own creativity and come up with that.
Yeah, there's practical things like that which would be wonderful to capture, but also the spirit of the people here,
Yes.
the dreams of the people here. That's powerful stuff.
Mhm.
Not just for us, but for others too that might see it, hear about it.
And that's important for us to hear as we think about the new website and how do we communicate what this brand is about and what our city's about. So I'll definitely mention that and just kind of say, hey, how do we capture that essence and spirit of what you guys are doing? I've been very excited hearing what you guys are up to.
Is this completely unique to Evansville, or?
Yes. Yeah, so the E is for Everyone totally originated here, and, so yes, it's really a kind of a cool thing.
Okay, so TP, with us having E's in our name. We
Two
can
of
we can platform off of that without worrying about you guys getting us for infringement on your logo.
No, exactly what, actually, the best thing I could say is the brand is your brand. It is this city's brand, you live in this city, it's your brand. You do with it what you want.
There's instructions on the website to show you how to make it your own.
Yes.
I mean, it's like follow these steps and you're there.
Yeah, and you can pull all your creativity into it. So yeah, it is your brand. Yeah, and there's these, I've also got stickers if you want. Take these, you know, you can pass them around maybe or whatever. Don't feel like you have to take them, but the E on that one is actually the little lines in the E are kind of the streets downtown and how they intersect. Yes,
You know,
sir.
that they talk about, I'm in the Parks Department area, and, you know, thinking about things, doing some murals or maybe something on that building here.
They are.
I was thinking if the logo that they could develop with they have now with the Tepe Park and the E incorporated, that'd be great on
That'd be awesome.
on the community house here, wouldn't it? I mean,
That'd be great.
in some way, it really highlighted, and you could highlight this for events like the annual picnic or something that they would have, you know, here, and something like that. Maybe we could, you know, you could highlight it and bring show the neighborhood we have a picnic going on. I mean, you know, we're always
That's
good
really
for a few
cool.
more hamburgers, hot dogs. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I love that idea. Get it to be a community art project, you know, there's a mural in Tepe Park representing the East. That's a really cool idea.
That's right.
Did you have a second question?
I did. I was wondering, like, the E for everyone. You said it wasn't through the mayor. It wasn't through this. Like, is it a specific group? Like, is it through a specific department in the city, or
No,
what is it?
It's a great question. So it's not. There's no city government agency at all. There's people who've spoken into it that represent all the different sectors: private, social, public. So that'd be government, nonprofit, business. But really, it was 3 marketing firms and a handful of designers. So kind of people who do branding and logo and kind of think through all of that process as well. So they really use their vocational power and skill experience to create that. And like I said, it has businesses supporting it from a financial level, like multiple businesses and individuals as well. So it's a good question, and we want all of our politicians to adopt it on either side of the aisle, right? Like we want all of them to be saying he is for everyone. That's what we're working toward. So that's a great question. Anything else? We'll pass out shirts if you guys want them. We got all kinds of sizes. I think we have 1 small, but then everything else we have 10 of. So we should be good. It's good to go, I think. And we'd love for you guys to take one. If you want to take an extra one to a family member or a friend, that's fine too. Yeah, good deal.
All right,
Thanks, y'all.
All right, just some final things here. I just wanted to let everyone know, we do have due to Marcus Christel, he had to resign for business reasons. We do have an opening for an interim vice president position open on the board. If you would like to be a vice president, please see me. We are having the education group meet, like I said, but we do not have a director of it. We are looking for, like he said, a director of our neighboring, and we also have a position for an events coordinator. With the increased events that we're having among the different departments, plus as the neighborhood, Tepe Park as a whole, we're needing somebody that can kind of work with the different groups when they're putting on events, or work in here as more of just an organizational person that can work with the different groups and the different entities to make that happen and make sure we have the supplies and everything. And I'm just going into that because sometimes I think events coordinator, people don't really understand what that involves. It's somebody who makes sure we have all the supplies we need, that's worked with either the department that's having that group, or maybe it's a community event for the whole Tepe Park that we're putting on, and helps the board kind of organize and structure those events, and kind of works with the different parties. And so if you have any interest in any of those 4 positions, I would greatly encourage you to come up and talk to me after the meeting. I would be very open in hearing that. We would like to get our board full. If you are a community partner and you live in the neighborhood, or even if you don't, the The only position you cannot take is a vice presidency. So if you're a community partner and you just have an interest in our neighborhood, you can come onto the board. And if you're a community partner, and let's say you represent a group of people, like Habitat, for example, but your name is Susan and you have a strong interest in safety, you can just join safety as a person. You don't have to join as a community partner. So I definitely encourage that all. I didn't want to hold this up too long, but I did want to explain a little bit about the positions we had open. And I did want to encourage everybody to think about this, if you could be a voice or help out with those positions. The last thing is, she isn't going to like this, but I'm going to ask Chris Fleming to come up here and talk to us about City Serve Day, because unfortunately I could not be here and I did not put her on the list. And that will be our final words. When she's done, we'll be adjourned. But I didn't want her to say something. I had a Shriner event, so I was not here this weekend.
Well, thanks. We had such a great time at City Serve Day. Crossroads did several different projects in the neighborhood, and of course, that we wanted to be sure to work here in Tepe Park. And so several different things were accomplished. You'll see new mulch out on the playground. Thanks to Community One, they supplied the mulch, and we just had our volunteers spread it around. If you remember, Saturday was a really rainy day, but somehow they still got that accomplished. So there was some cleaning and organizing that went on inside the clubhouse here. And are you ready for this? The toilet, there is a new toilet. Woo! So, it's been a long time coming, so. Right. And I think that's about it. We love Tepe Park at Crossroads, and so I'm just excited to be part of the change that's happening here. All right?
We did forget, we're adjourned, but we did want to remind everybody, if you would like a sign to put in your front yard telling everybody about the meeting, we would encourage you to pick them up. We do have them up front here. It's just letting our neighbors know when our meeting is. It's just another way of communicating.
See the, so you get the Wi-Fi now?
Yes, we do have Wi-Fi here. There is free Wi-Fi.